Today, we're gonna go over the behind the scenes of this commercial. A couple months ago, Manic Technology and Lovejoy's Bloody Mary Mix have reached out to me to make a commercial for their new products, their Bloody Mary Mix, and their hot sauce. Now, what was planning like with the team? With both Manic and Lovejoy representatives, we talked about different kinds of approaches, and I just wanted to see what they wanted. We created a storyboard, I made a mood board, a commercial treatment with the visuals of what the video would look like, and then we also set a budget that would work for everyone. Are you kidding me? I had this microphone in the shot the whole time. Do I have to redo that whole thing? They come to me and they say, hey, we're thinking of having a dark room, black backdrop, we want saturated colors, we want super tight close-ups for 30 seconds. So it's a very quick commercial, put it on their social and put it on their website. So we're just doing a brand Kickstarter. So what were some ideas that I had in place for the commercial? In general, it needed to be a story that made sense. Produce, to the kitchen, to the glass, to the bottle. I started with wanting to do a rolling tomato zipping by and just like kind of get ready to become a Bloody Mary mix, like every tomato's dream. I also had some ideas of some flying vegetables, obviously pouring some in glasses. Then we wanted literally like macros of everything, like just super tight shots. Everything looks super big. One of my favorite shots that I actually had an idea of was using the Laowa lens to go through things. So a lot of people like using the Laowa lens to go through lots of like books. They like to go through like a valley of just things. So I wanted to just use it to go through a green bell pepper. It comes from cutting the green bell pepper and then it goes from a shot inside of it. And then as it cuts, it goes right through the green bell pepper. So how did I do that? I cut a hole in the bottom of the green bell pepper, and then we just at the same time like already kind of have the top of it or like the other side of it cut open, so we don't cut the lens by accident. So it's already cut, and then it will open. We had the Bloody Mary mix on the other side of the green bell pepper, which is a good transition into the product. What was production like? There actually wasn't a lot that I could rent, so I did use a lot of what I had already, and that was the C200 and the 80D. I did rent out a Laowa probe lens, the infamous commercial macro shot lens that I wanted to try out, get some fancy shots, and it actually worked really well. I rented out a 300D Mark II. I rented out a slider as well, so it's kind of minimalistic. The location that we had this all filmed was in my basement, so if I were to minimize how much I brought in, would make it less claustrophobic overall. I also had to order a Lazy Susan that would help make the products be on a turntable. Also got plexiglass on top of it as well. And my microphone keeps falling into frame because I got like cheap equipment. A couple things I actually bought too. I got a really big 9-foot wide backdrop, a black backdrop. It was like 90 bucks. It's not cheap, but it came with a lot of paper, a lot of thick paper that you can cut your hand with. Charles Lovejoy was nice enough to drop off all the products and the produce to my location. I myself should be the sole operator of this the sole operator of this commercial. I didn't want to have too many beans. What? Too many beans. I didn't want to have too many people in the basement because that wouldn't be safe, especially a closed space like this. So if anything, it was just me and the people who live here. With a project like this, I had a different approach. I didn't want to make it too fast. I didn't want to feel too rushed, especially in the comfort of my own home if I'm the only person. So this operation took about 4 days. The 4 days were dedicated on different things. One was the product. I want to make sure I get all the product shots. Gotta make sure I get all I can with the product shots so I don't miss anything, any details before I start opening them and messing with the packaging. Second was gonna be the glasses, glass pouring. So that's when the products are open and then the glasses are going underway. The third one was the vegetables. And then I also left enough time to do any redos and do a lot of freestyles. So what were some issues that I had with production? It wasn't as smooth as you might think. One of the issues I had was figuring out how to use the Laowa probe lens. Couldn't use it until maybe the second or third day of filming. The Laowa probe lens comes with built-in LED lights at the very tip of it, so you can have more light, because it's an f14. Like, this needs a lot of freaking light. Like, my setup for it was just super bright, and even then it wasn't even bright enough for it. I had to go to Best Buy, I guess, battery charger, to grab a
or like
battery power,
like
some tech stuff
where I had to
get a
small battery
kind of like connect it cord. But I did find that I could have just used any stupid Android charger. Thanks to my girlfriend, she pointed that out. It was just like a standard Android charging port, so I didn't have to go through all that hassle. I had to redo a lot of the pouring shots because continuity wise, you gotta have the rim salted before you start pouring it. So a lot of the shots I had did not have any rim salt, and they were just great, but they just didn't make sense because there's no rim salt. So another thing that I didn't really enjoy was the slider. So I did mention that the slider was kind of cool using it because you can use a regular slider on one side and then you flip it around and it has a little curvy part of the slider too. Ideally, I think the concept was great, but it just wasn't smooth. It was just like, so it was just hard to use those shots at all. I throw in some warp stabilizer and prayed for the best. Here's what I ended up making. Thanks for watching the behind the scenes of this commercial. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank Manic Technology and Lovejoy's Bloody Mary Mix for inviting me for this opportunity to create content for these wonderful products. I hope you enjoyed watching this. It really does mean a lot if you take away something from like the behind the scenes that I try filming. It's hard to kind of film and behind the scenes, so I try my best so you can join this journey of being an aspiring filmmaker. That's all for me today. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.